Welcome back, dear students. So in the previous lecture we are up to the classification of the meristem. The meristem has been classified into the various types on the basis of three criteria. The first one is the position of meristem, on the basis of which there are three types of meristem: apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. Then according to the origin there are two types: primary meristem, secondary meristem. Then on the basis of plane of cell division there are again three types: mass meristem, plate meristem and rib meristem. So one by one we are going to study these different types of meristem. So the first one, according to the position of meristem, there are three types of meristem: apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. So the first one type, apical meristem. So this apical meristem is present at the apex of the stem, root and the appendages. So in this diagram we can see this is the apical meristem which is present at the apex, tip of the stem, root and the appendage. So this is the stem where this apical meristem we can see at the tip or at the apex of the stem. So because of which it is present at the apex, it is called as apical meristem. Okay, it is present at the tip or apex of the stem, root and the appendages. So the meristem is the apical meristem. They are known as the growing points because, as you know, that the meristem, it is made up of the meristematic cells, and these cells are in a continuous state of cell division. These cells are dividing cells, they add new cells. So they are known as the growing point. Growing point form of single dividing cells is called as apical cell. For example, pteridophytes. So in pteridophytes the growing point has been made up of a single dividing cell, while in case of higher plants a number of dividing cells or initials are present at the growing point. Okay, got it? In case of higher plant, for example angiosperm, this apical meristem has been made up of a number of dividing cells or initials, while in case of pteridophytes the growing point consists of single dividing cell. It increases the height and length of the organs and the primary body on the whole. So this apical meristem which is present at the apex, which is responsible for increasing the height. So it increases the height. It also responsible for the increase in length of the organs and the primary plant body on the whole. So whole plant body development, growth and development occur because of the apical meristem, because it is present at the apex of stem, root and the appendages. It increases the height and length of the organs. Next one type is the intercalary meristem. So it is a portion of apical meristem located between the permanent tissue. So this is the intercalary meristem. It is the portion of a apical meristem. Here we can see this is the intercalary meristem, which is a portion of apical meristem located between the permanent tissue. So this is the permanent tissue, here also the permanent tissue. So this intercalary meristem, it is present in between the permanent tissue. Intercalary meristem gets separated from the apical meristem during development. As the height of this stem has been increases, it pushes downward the permanent tissue. Here the new cells are added at the apex. So this intercalary meristem gets separated from the apical meristem during the development, and it is localized or it is located between the permanent tissue. They occur at the base of internode and leaves. So internode, the portion between the node. So this is the one node, this is another node. So the portion between node, it is called as the internode. So this intercalary meristem, it is present at the base of internode and leaves. They possess a very limited ability to divide. They also constitute to the development of the plant body. They are short living and ultimately becomes permanent tissue. So intercalary meristem, it is present at the base of internode. They possess a very limited ability to divide. They also constitute to the development of the primary plant body. They are short living and ultimately become permanent tissue. Intercalary meristem produces lateral appendages, axillary buds and adventitious buds. So on the nodal region here, the buds has been developed that grows into the lateral branches, lateral appendages. It may also develops into the axillary bud and adventitious bud. So buds which are present at the nodes are called as the axillary buds or adventitious buds. These buds after germination gives rise to the lateral branches. It may directly forms the flower also. So this intercalary meristem produces lateral appendages, axillary buds and adventitious buds. It increases length of the internode and leaves. So intercalary meristem which is present or occurs at the base of internodes and leaves are responsible for increasing the length of the internodes and the leaves. So this is the second one type, intercalary meristem, which is located or occurs at the base of internodes and leaves. So intercalary, why it is called as intercalary? Because it is present at the base of internode, which is responsible for making lateral branches or to produce the lateral branches or appendages, axillary buds and adventitious bud. It increases the length of internode. What is internode? The portion between the two nodes. This portion, it is called as internode. Okay. Third one type is the lateral meristem. So this lateral meristem is present parallel to the sides of the organs in which they are present. So here this lateral meristem has been present. It is present parallel to the sides of the organs in which they are present. Here is the stem. The organ, plant organ is the stem, where the lateral meristem has been present parallel to the sides. These are the sides, parallel to the sides of the organs in which they are present. Their cells are rectangular with small vacuoles and ergastic substances. Here in the previous lecture we studied some of the characters of the meristematic tissue. The meristematic cells are rectangular without any vacuole. Vacuole is absent, and if present it is small. So here is the lateral meristem. Here the vacuoles are small vacuoles and there is a presence of ergastic substances. They divide only in tangential plane or periclinary and responsible for increasing thickness or girth of the organs in which they are present. So it increases the diameter or girth or thickness of the plant organ. Suppose here is the stem. So the girth or the diameter of the stem has been increased because of this lateral meristem which is present parallel to the sides of the stem. Okay. Lateral meristem builds the secondary body, that is the vascular cambium and cork cambium. So the lateral meristem which is responsible for the secondary growth of the plant. So secondary growth, it is concerned with the increasing the thickness or diameter or girth of the organs and plant. So this is because of the lateral meristem. So the cells of the lateral meristem are divided only in tangential plane or periclinary and are responsible for increasing thickness or girth of the organs in which they are present. So this is about the lateral meristem. Then types of meristem according or based on origin. So according to the stage of appearance, according to the origin of the meristematic tissue in the plant body, they are classified into two types. According to the stage of appearance, whether they are occurred primarily or secondarily, there are two types: primary meristem and secondary meristem. So the first one type, primary meristem, here it's a meristem of the original plant body or organ. So this meristem has been developed during the growth of the primary plant body. So it is called as primary meristem. So because this is the meristem of original plant body or organ, they develop directly from cells of embryonic stage and remain meristematic throughout their life. They develop from the cells of embryonic stage, means the cells that has been developed from the embryo, means embryo possesses root initials and shoot initials, that we also called as plumule and radicle. This plumule gives rise to the aerial shoot and radicle gives rise to the primary root. So this primary meristem has been developed directly from the cells of plumule and radicle. They remain meristematic throughout their life. The meristem present at the apices of root, stem and in buds are examples of primary meristem. So they are present at the apices, at the tip of root, stem and in buds. They are responsible for development of primary plant body, that is the root, stem and leaf. So the formation of the primary plant body is because of the primary meristem, which is a part of original plant body or organ. And this meristem directly develops directly from the cells of embryonic stage, that is the plumule and radicle, and remain meristematic throughout their life. They are present at the apices of root, stem and in buds. Second one type, secondary meristem. So it arises from the permanent tissue or primary meristem. Secondary meristem arises from primary meristem. In due course of time, during the course of development, it develops into a mature plant body. Some cells produced from primary meristem as permanent tissue regain power of cell division and become meristematic. So as I previously told that the secondary meristem has been arises from permanent tissue or primary meristem. So some cells that has been produced from primary meristem as permanent tissue regain the power of cell division. So we are discussing the meristem, these cells having the power of cell division. These cells are in a continuous state of cell division. So some of the permanent tissue that has been developed from primary meristem regain the power of cell division and become meristematic. So start to divide. Thus they arise from tissue which is not meristematic originally. It arises from the permanent tissue which is not meristematic originally, but this permanent tissue regain the power of cell division and it becomes meristematic. For example, cork cambium or interfascicular cambium. It is also called as intervascular cambium. The cambium which is present between two vascular bundle, it is called as interfascicular cambium. So cambium, it is the secondary meristem that has been present in the vascular tissue, where the cambium which is made up of meristematic cells, it is present in between the vascular bundles in medullary raised tissue, or intravascular cambium means intravascular cambium, it is present in between the in the vascular bundle in between xylem and phloem. Intravascular cambium which is present in the vascular bundle. More precisely, in the vascular bundle, it is present between xylem and phloem. Which one? Intrafascicular cambium. So this is the secondary meristem. For example, cork cambium, interfascicular cambium, intrafascicular cambium. These are the examples of secondary meristem. So based on the origin. So in the first case, primary meristem that has been developed from the embryonic tissue, while the secondary meristem has been developed from a permanent tissue which regain the power of cell division and it becomes meristematic. Now the third one criteria, based on plan of cell division. So on the basis of plan of cell division, there are again three types: mass meristem, okay, rib meristem and plate meristem. Okay, so these three types we are going to study one by one. So the first one type, it is the mass meristem. So in this case, the cells divide in three planes at three sides. So here this division, this classification of the meristem has been made on the basis of plane of cell division. So mass meristem, in this case, cells divides in three planes at three sides. Which are these three planes? One is the anticlinally, periclinally and diagonally or by all sides or planes, and thus produce a mass of cells. So the cells of the meristematic tissue are divided in all sides or in three planes. For example, anticlinally, periclinally and diagonally. So due to which it produces a mass of cells. For example, embryonic meristem at early stage, meristem in sporangia, pith endodermis and cortex tissue. So this is the example of mass meristem, where the cells of the meristem are divided in three planes at three sides: anticlinally, periclinally and diagonally or by all sides or plane. So the meristem is a mass meristem. So because of which it produces the mass of cells. So the meristem is mass meristem. Next is the plate meristem. In this case, meristem divided by anticlinal and periclinal divisions on two sides. Here there are three sides. In the previous case, in case of mass meristem, there are three sides: anticlinal, periclinal, diagonal. Here in plate meristem, there are two sides: anticlinal and periclinal division, and thus plate cells are formed. Plate cells are formed. The cells are in a single layer or a plate of one layer of cells. So here it forms a layers. It likes a plate. So the meristem, it is a plate meristem because the meristem cells are divided by anticlinal and periclinal divisions on two sides. Thus plate cells are formed. The cells are in a single layer. For example, epidermis, or plate of one layer of cells. For example, single layered epidermis or meristem forming lip plate. So this is about the plate meristem, which divides on two sides, anticlinal and periclinal. So it form a plate of cells, plate of one layer of cells, or a single layer of cell. For example, single layered epidermis. So this is about the plate meristem. Third one is the rib meristem. So in this case, the meristem divides anticlinally or in one plane. So here the number of planes, number of sides are decreasing. In the first case, mass meristem, there are three sides. In plate meristem, there are two sides. In rib meristem, there is only one side. The meristem cells divide anticlinally or in one plane and thus produce a row of cells in a column. It is also termed as file meristem. The length of the organ increases due to the such meristem. It plays an important role in pith formation. So the cells are divided only anticlinally or in one plane. So it produces a row of cells. So one by one cell, one above the other cell, that has been formed in a row, in a column. It is also termed as file meristem. So the length of the organ increases due to such meristem. It plays an important role in pith formation. So these are the three types of meristem on the basis of plane of cell division. These are mass meristem, plate meristem and rib meristem. Now the functions of the meristem. So this is the last point from this chapter, functions of meristem. One by one we are going to study the different functions of the meristem. The first one, the primary growth of the plant body occurs due to the activity of primary meristem. So this primary meristem is responsible for the formation of root, stem and leaf. So the primary growth of the plant body occurs due to the activity of primary meristem, which is the part of the embryonic tissues. Secondary meristem produces secondary conducting tissue to fulfill requirement of additional conduction of water and food. Secondary meristem, for example, cambium, whatever it is, intrafascicular or interfascicular cambium, it produces secondary xylem and phloem. So the function of the xylem is the conduction of water, while the function of phloem is the translocation of the food material. So these are the conducting tissue. So these secondary conducting tissues are produced by the activity of secondary meristem, fulfill the requirement of additional conduction of water and food. An embryonic meristem is responsible for formation and differentiation of different parts of the plant body. Embryonic meristem, that is also called as the primary meristem, is responsible for formation and differentiation of different parts of the plant body, that is the root, stem. So this differentiation of the plant part has been carried out by embryonic meristem. Overall, primary and secondary growth of the plant body or organs is possible due to the activity of meristem. So growth in case of plant is uniform because of this primary and secondary meristem, or due to the activity of the meristem. So overall primary and secondary growth of the plant body or plant organ is possible due to the activity of meristems. Healing of wounds in case of plants is possible due to the formation of cork, cambium or callus in the vicinity of wound by the meristem. So any wounding or wound formation that has been takes place on the plant. So the healing of such wounds in case of plants is possible due to the formation of cork cambium or callus. Callus, it is an undifferentiated mass of the cell in the vicinity near of the wound or close to the wound by the meristem. So this callus formation or cork cambium formation takes place by the meristem near or very close to the wound. So healing of wound is possible because of the meristem. Lateral organs such as leaves, flower buds, branches, fruits, etc. develop from specific meristem. Adventitious buds develop from the meristems and help in regeneration of organs or plant body. So these adventitious buds, or one can say axillary bud, that has been produced by the intercalary meristem. So these buds develop from meristem help in regeneration of organs or plant body. Development of seasonal cambia as meristematic tissue is responsible for seasonal growth in organs like root and stem. So this seasonal cambia that has been developed in some part in some plant organs like root and stem are responsible for seasonal growth in the organs. Anomalous secondary growth or abnormal secondary growth is possible due to the adventitious meristem. So in some plant there is anomalous or abnormal secondary growth has been seen, and which is possible due to the adventitious meristems. In different plants, as per the ecological conditions, specific tissues are produced due to the activity of the secondary meristem. So the ecological condition, so plant can cope up with the environmental conditions. The specific tissues are produced in the plant because of the activity of secondary meristem. So in different plants, as per the ecological need or the conditions, the specific tissues are produced due to the activity of the secondary meristem. So this is about the functions of the meristem. So in this way we finish the meristematic tissue, which is a first form tissue in the plant. So there are two types, there are two main types of the tissue, meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. In the next lecture we will study the permanent tissues, that is simple tissue and complex tissue. Both simple tissue consist of parenchyma, chlorenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma, while complex tissue it consists of xylem and phloem. These complex tissues are also called as the meristematic tissue. So in this lecture we studied the different types of meristem, that is apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. According to the origin there are two types, primary meristem and secondary meristem. According to the plane of cell division there are again three types, mass meristem, plate meristem and rib meristem. So these are the types of meristem. Next to this we study the functions of the meristem. So there are 10 functions we studied here as functions of the meristem. So this is all for today. Thank you. Stay home. Be safe.